Secret Service is worried about them? If we have to worry about them, we have big problems.
This time, Trump has done it again with an executive order titled, wait for it, No Men in Women's Sports. Subtle, right? Well, the order bans transgender women from competing in women's sports category at any public school, and it also bans them from receiving federal funding. Now, if schools don't comply, say bye-bye to federal dollars. Classic Trump move, right?
There are only two genders, male and female.
Let's try and understand what changes. So here's the deal. The government is now supposed to cut funds from schools that allow transgender women in women's sports. They are also expected now to prioritize Title IX enforcement to penalize these schools. Now, what does it actually translate into? Uncle Sam is closing his wallet if your school is being inclusive.
My response to Trump, if he's watching, we're not afraid of you. And we will become stronger when you're gone.
Now let's try and understand the impact on trans athletes. For trans athletes, this isn't just about sports. It's all about a bag full of opportunities. Scholarships, which are now gone. Competitions, which will now be denied. The entire future, well, completely uncertain. Critics say that this move largely ignores the scientific research, which shows that hormone therapy significantly reduces any competitive edge. But hey, why listen to science when you have a lot of political points to score on, right?
They're not into the transgender operations. They're not into men playing in women's sports. They want a booming economy, and they don't like Kamala's plan to provide free sex change operations for inmates who are illegal migrants in detention, or secretly change the gender of our children in school without even parental consent or knowledge.
Now this executive ban on transgenders will also impact women athletes. How? On the flip side, the supporters argue that this largely protects women's sports. But let's get real. How many trans women were actually dominating women's sports? This isn't just an evasion. Some folks are making it out to be one. Instead, it's a political football being tossed around.
One win does not make domination. One kid winning one race at a national championship swim meet 3 years ago is not domination. But they're trying to say this fear because, let's face it, Donald Trump knows he's lying about transgender Americans. Riley Gaines knows she's lying about transgender athletes. The thing that they're banking on is that you, the average person out there, doesn't know they're lying.
Now, Trump's track records on trans rights have also not been very beautiful. This isn't Trump's first rodeo when it comes to targeting trans rights. Remember the trans military ban, then the crackdown on gender-affirming care, and then the bathroom wars. Yeah, it's like a pattern for him. And this latest order is just another notch in that belt. We've been garnering a lot of reactions, and legal battles are now brewing up ahead of this ban. Reactions are rolling in, some schools are also pushing back, and some parents, on the other hand, are celebrating. And legal teams are largely sharpening their knives. Expect lawsuits, and lots of them, because Title IX was actually created to prevent discrimination. And this, well, this looks a lot like adding on to the discrimination. With all of that coming into play, where does this leave us all? So what's next and what happens next? Do schools comply? Do courts step in? Or do trans athletes get a fair shot? We don't have all the answers yet, but one thing is definitely certain: this fight is far from over. Trump's executive order isn't just about sports. It's a direct attack on transgender rights, with ripple effects across education and healthcare sector too. The message: exclusion over inclusion. But this isn't the time to stay silent, is it? Speak up, stand together, push back, because equality isn't a privilege, it's a right. Where do you stand on this ban? Let us know and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's talk about it.